think I'll get real close to you and hop on you then. How's that?
Asshole.
Wow.
Each of my 3 children have lost nearly every friend that they've had because of me.
You know what I'm really down for? Anti-maskers. It's definitely a little Karen, okay? Definitely very Karen. Karens, and where are they now? These are gonna be, some of these are new videos. Like this one I have is from November, but then some of these are also a little bit older. This is kind of an interesting one. Did you guys ever see the Pier 1 Karen? That is the #1 place that I would think that you would like actually see a Karen. So this is the Pier 1 Karen who was just coughing on people in Florida. This was about a year or so ago, but what I actually found was this woman served 30 days in jail and then actually wrote a little statement to the judge, and I thought it would be interesting to watch that and see if our Karen learned anything, right? All right, okay, all right. Oh, this is gonna be so interesting. I feel like it's gonna be interesting. All right, belligerent customer coughs on patron at Jacksonville, Florida store.
Do you really need this? What do you want to do? Post it for you? How about that? Good.
How is that supposed to make it better? Hold on. I just want to think about this for a second, chat. Oh my God. Okay. Let's try to imagine something that you would be getting frustrated on, like at a location. Okay. And now imagine you turn around while you're frustrated at the store and you look over and see someone recording you. Okay. I just put myself there immediately. You guys type out what you would do, but I would probably, or if you're on YouTube, type in the comments. Whatever I was upset about, I would like come down. I would definitely come down. I wouldn't come up a couple notches. I would come down because like if I saw the camera, I would be like embarrassed. I don't think I would get to that point, but that's just what I would do if I looked over and saw the camera. I wouldn't double down and be like, suck on this. Jesus.
I think I'll get real close to you and hop on you then. How's that?
Asshole.
Wow.
I felt that. I felt that. No, she did not. Yeah, you gotta go. You gotta go.
Let's go.
No. This just made me projectile vomit. This bitch knows in that moment that you will now be kicked out of the store, and if you haven't been kicked out of the store yet, it's because the cops are coming for assault. She knows that. And so the minute that she turns around and says, let's go, as though this is her oyster, this is her Pier 1, these are her rules, this is her woman to cough on, and now this is my world to leave. Are you okay? Dude, this might be the lowest moment in her life, bro. And it's just out there for all of us to see, and it's kind of sad. Like, it is really sad. Hold on, now, guys, we just need to give this one more quick replay, and I won't talk through it, okay? Because after this, we're about to watch her apology. And so, when we watch her apology, I need you guys to not forget what she did.
Do you really need this? What do you want to do? Post it for you? How about that? Good. I think I'll get real close to you and hop on you then. How's that?
Asshole.
Wow.
Dude, okay, you know what? Ooh. The ultimate form of disrespect to me is spitting at me. Spitting on me or spitting at me. And I put coughing in the same exact level. The same level. Like, the amount of disrespect I get from this is just fucking disgusting. Oh my God. Okay. Wait. Now, see a woman who coughed in the face of a cancer patient Did the woman holding the camera have cancer? I'm crying.
Nassau County woman caught on camera purposely coughing on a cancer patient for the height of the pandemic was sentenced to jail time. Today, Deborah Jo Hodder was sentenced to 30 days in jail. That happened during a virtual hearing.
News4Jax reporter Corley Peel joining us live from the Duval County Courthouse with what the judge had to say about Hunter's statements in court. Corley?
The judge says he didn't hear any regret towards the victim that Deborah Jo Hunter had. He only heard that she only mentioned the suffering that her own family has experienced during this time.
We're gonna listen to her statement.
But we did hear Hunter read an apology letter in court.
All right, y'all. Hold on. Let's see. April 8th, 2021. My kids don't deserve this. Woman who coughed on cancer patient at Jacksonville Pier 1 testify. Oh, God. Is this the first Karen apology you guys have ever seen? I think this is the first Karen apology I've ever seen in my life.
Your Honor, if you've read my letter already, I'm not going to put you through having to listen to it all again. And
no, feel free. This is your day. This is your day in court. This is your day in court. If you so desire, that's fine.
Okay.
I said that's fine.
Read it. Well, I will just kind of
read it.
You know, I guess skim over some of the things because my husband really touched on a lot of those. But what I did say to you in my letter was that
here it comes.
I didn't want to write this letter. My attorney, Chris, told me that it would be a good idea. And the reason I didn't want to write it is because I don't feel right about asking for.
Wait a minute. I think that Judge Green screened himself into the courtroom. I'm sorry. I just had to point it out. I love it. I respect it. I mean, I get it. I get it. The man said, look, some older dudes lately, they'd be like, I'll leave this office when I die, you know? And he said, I'm going to put myself in there. You know, he has his assistant to set that up. Good on him. You go, sir.
I don't feel right about asking for mercy or empathy or any of that. This whole thing has humbled me. I just didn't even know that it was possible to be humbled as much as I've been humbled.
How do you guys feel about that statement? I've truly been humbled. I didn't even know it was possible to be humbled this much. I get what she's trying to say, but it's just like, what? Like, what does she really mean? You know what I mean?
You know,
somebody just said, why are you laughing? Do you fucking know where you are? Like, I will be hooting and hollering for the next 3 hours, buddy. Strap in.
Remorse that I have and the guilt that I have that has occurred from that one very poor decision is what I want to talk to you about is the way that it's affected my family and how undeserving they are.
Of my actions.
My lawyers told me that you're fair and reasonable, and I told you in my letter that I'm prepared for whatever justice you deem appropriate. But I do want to share with you how my consequences, the consequences of what I did, my mistake, and how it affected my family and mostly my children. I mean,
What about the cancer patient that you coughed on? Did I miss that? Did she say it and I just missed it? Or has she just simply has she spoken about her attorneys, her husband, her children, herself, the judge, and not the victim that she coughed on at all? Okay.
Affected all of us and my husband, but you know, the kids are the innocent ones, and I just want to make you aware of what they've gone through.
Judge, my children are the innocent ones. Please spare me so that my children don't have to deal with this. Bitch, they are dealing with the actions of your consequences at home every day. It's funny how she said how this one incident affected the rest of my life. Chat, do you guys truly believe that this was just a fluke and she was just having a bad day and she's not really like that? Or is that the way that she's always operated and this is going to change her for the rest of her life?
This incident occurred over 8 months ago, but my children just still continue to suffer the indignities that were caused by what I did.
I don't know about that.
I think they're continually embarrassed. They're continually chastised and mocked. Each of my 3 children have lost nearly every friend that they've had. Their kids, they basically the parents of the kids that used to be friends with, no longer, permitted them to associate with us because of me.
Oh,
and I know that that's because of what.
God, guys, I remember calling this out in the racist grandma wheelchair video. These people don't realize that your actions affect your children now. They do.
They saw, on that video, and I would have probably made the very same decision and not let my kids associate with somebody who did that as well. So I can't fault them for that. But the problem, that goes along with that is it's heartbreaking to see your kids struggle for something that you did. My daughter, she's only 7. She's pretty much, she's like me. She's an extrovert. She's very social.
Mrs. Hunter, slow down and breathe, okay? What's written in your letter is a lot more fluid, and you're leaving out critical details.
You know what? I feel like this letter she wrote was a bid so that she didn't have any jail time at all. But she did serve 30 days, like still through all of this. And she needed to serve those 30 days. This one would have never broke this habit otherwise. This is why I say we have to hold these people accountable. There must be punishments for your wrongdoings. It is a slap on the wrist, and she is terrified of those 30 days in jail. That's where all this whole fucking letter is coming from. She doesn't want to go.
My other 2 children have more insight into their loss, so there's no need for that constant explanation. In the past few months, my children collectively decided that they would no longer divulge their last name to anyone new that they met. And this decision came to fruition after multiple occasions in which a parent or a teacher or a peer would connect the dots that ultimately led back to their ties to that woman in the video.
I can't believe this. I cannot believe
My children no longer engage in any type of team sports or otherwise, just to avoid meeting anyone new. But a couple of months ago, a new family did move into the neighborhood, and a boy the same age as my middle child pursued a friendship with him. And my son was very reluctant to befriend him given his past experiences. But I encouraged him anyway, and eventually he gave in, and they became fast friends. For several weeks, my son was happy and almost carefree. They spent every weekend together. They had sleepovers, they built forts, and they just had fun being boys. My husband and I were hopeful, but then it stopped. The boys stopped coming over, and my son was heartbroken again. My eldest son was just starting high school when the social media frenzy was at its peak.
Oh my God. I haven't heard the repercussions of a Karen yet. And like on the family, I'm like, holy shit. I kind of figured, but I had no idea. We're 5 minutes in. Has anyone heard mention of the woman that she coughed on?
And in the midst of it all, my son had to start high school, a brand new school where he knew no one and had no friends. And it's difficult enough to be an adolescent and starting high school as the new kid, but to do so during this tumultuous time and under the microscope of a small town made it nearly unbearable for my son, who was already an introvert. Like any normal 15-year-old, he just wanted to fit in and be accepted. Instead, he was shunned. His classmates would boldly ask him, and purposefully in the midst of a small crowd, if his mother was that lady in the video.
I got a question for you guys. If you were 14 years old and through the majority of your life, your mom disregarded you, bossed you around, never asked about your feelings, and put a lot of pressure on you and acted like she was the shit, and then this happened to your mom, do you feel like a part of you at all would be like, oh wow, my mom's finally being held accountable for everything that she is on a massive scale? Like, would it make you feel more validated about everything that she ever did to you? And is it worth everything that the kids have to go through to make her stop this behavior? Like, some of us know that feeling of being a helpless kid and knowing that your parent is wrong, but you can't do anything.
And although he tries to hide his emotions from me to avoid.
Dude, and then also imagine your mom doing this shit and then trying to use her kids as a get out of jail free card. Literally.
I'm sorry, Judge.
Okay.
Just give me a minute. The reason that this part is so raw and emotional for me is because the last time I was in court, afterwards, the media was, the story, it just was more prevalent. I got a lot more.
Oh no, I wanted my bad behavior to stay a secret. It was never supposed to leave the Pier 1. No one was ever supposed to find out how much of a piece of shit I am. I looked right into the camera and then tripled down.
Right after that, my son was taken out of class and brought into the counselor's office. And they basically said, we saw your mom. And we just want to make sure that you're okay. You know, we know you can't talk to your mom or you can't talk to your dad, you know, and
about how you're really
We just want to
feeling.
make sure that you're okay. And
I didn't even think about that. I didn't think about that. Sure, maybe the kids are in therapy, but like, can you imagine having to go through this embarrassment and then you can't talk to your parents about it? Because if you're talking to your mom about it, you have to paint it through the lens of feeling bad for your mom, you know? Like, you can't actually tell her everything you're feeling and everything that you're dealing with because of what she caused, because she's the person that did it all, you know? Like, how are these kids feel? I really hope they have somebody to talk to.
having my letter go public and having his teachers read it and his guidance counselor and, you know, just everybody, it just made it that much more worse for him. And that's why this particular part of my letter is so hard for me, because this just happened and I'm just having a really hard time with it, because he did come home and he did try to just brush it off like it was no big deal. But my husband and I, for the next 2 or 3 days, we just kept asking him, you know, Tate, what's wrong? Tate, what's wrong? He wouldn't tell us, but we knew what was wrong. And so that's just been really hard.
Imagine ruining your son's life and then asking him constantly, hey son, what's wrong? Get out. I don't think you people have changed since this event. She needs to go to jail. She has to go to jail for 30 days. Like, this is real. Like, this is just real. You have to go.
I just wanted to explain why this particular part is so difficult. Okay, I'm sorry. He tries to hide his emotions from me to avoid adding to my guilt. But I know that my son is broken, because a mother always knows when her children are hurting.
I know exactly what type of woman this lady is, and her saying that statement is so cap. I honestly came into this expecting to have a little bit of sympathy for Karen. And that's even why I played her video twice, because I was trying to remind myself of what she did. But here we are, 8 minutes in, no mention of the woman that she coughed on.
And those 2 longtime friends, he had decided to add salt to the wound by removing him from the group chat that he and his classmates had been part of for 5 years while in school together.
Surprise,
My son
surprise.
is trying to cope, but it would be a lie to say that he has not been permanently damaged by all of this unwanted and unwarranted attention. He has surely suffered the most of my 3 children. We are currently involved in counseling. Additionally, we are trying to enroll my...
You cannot be... Okay, let me say this. For situations like this, we don't need family counseling. We need individual counseling, okay? I'm gonna say this right now. When you send your children to a counselor, first of all, don't give them this Christian counselor bullshit. I went to those, and the way that stuff ends up happening is everything that is told to them is through the vessel of God, rather than, hey, you're a person, and I'm a person, and I'm listening to your feelings. It was, here's what God thinks about your feelings. 1, don't do that shit. Second of all, don't go to just family counseling. The child has individual issues that were now caused by the family, and they need individual therapy. Third, you as a parent cannot go to the same counselor that your child is going to, because your child will not trust that counselor. And then you're going to sit there and waste your money and waste your copay because they're too scared to talk to their therapist about what's really going on.
In hopes that he might
God,
walk those hallways without staring at the ground. We did just learn that he was denied access into that high school, so he's going to continue going to this school. The lives of my kids have been drastically altered.
Why was he denied access? You know?
It was an art school that he auditioned for.
Oh, okay, I got it. Okay.
So you tried to get your son to switch schools by him like auditioning for a different school, and he wasn't qualified for it, so he didn't get in. And then she changes it to, he was denied access. God, so many victim statements here. The scarlet letter I carry. And then what was the other thing that she kept saying? She keeps saying some weird shit. Like through this, she said, the letter that I wrote to, the staff was shared with everyone and counselors and whatnot. Yeah, of course it was. The video was shared with peers. Yeah, of course it was. She's angry that everyone knows who she really is now. I think this is a woman that was used to keeping up appearances. I'm so over her. Wow, I can't believe though. Okay, wait, chat. Rate that Karen apology on a scale of 1 to 10. You know why else Karen got excommunicated from the community? It wasn't just this video. They didn't like her. I can almost guarantee you that. This one, I was the nucleus of the community. There was 13 kids in my front yard. I was the one that planned the cookouts, and I was the one that planned this. Well, I bet you she was also the person that barred certain children or certain women from different things. She was the one that always organized it. She was the one that was always playing perfect, and people were watching from the sidelines, and they're like, you know what? I think I don't fucking like Deborah. And the minute that this video came out, everyone was like, oh yeah, we don't like Deborah. And now we have a reason. Bye, Deb.